I'm about to show you something that will change your life starting tonight. A simple 3-minute method that can lower your cholesterol naturally without adding another pill to your daily routine. If you're dealing with high cholesterol numbers that won't come down, no matter what you try, cholesterol readings that keep climbing despite medication, LDL levels that your doctor keeps warning you about, triglycerides that make your doctor's face go serious during appointments, then what I'm about to share could save your life. High cholesterol isn't just a number on a lab report. It's a silent killer that's clogging your arteries right now, building up plaque that could trigger a heart attack or stroke without warning. But here's what's critical. Most people are doing cholesterol management completely wrong, following outdated advice that actually makes the problem worse. The method I'm going to teach you works with your body's natural cholesterol regulation system, and it takes just 3 minutes before bed to activate mechanisms that can drop your LDL by 30 to 50 points in the next 60 days. I'm Dr. Claire Whitmore, and after 20 years as a cardiac surgeon, I've performed over 3,000 heart surgeries. I've seen the heart attacks that high cholesterol causes. I've held hearts in my hands that were starved of blood because cholesterol had turned arteries into cement pipes. I've diagnosed premature heart disease in people in their 50s who thought they had decades left. And I've taught thousands of seniors the exact 3-minute protocol I'm about to share with you that activates your liver's natural cholesterol clearing mechanisms, reduces arterial inflammation, and addresses the root cause that standard medical advice completely misses. What I'm going to give you in this video is worth more than what most cardiologists charge for multiple consultations. You're getting the complete scientific mechanism behind why cholesterol accumulates, the exact 3-minute evening protocol that activates your body's cholesterol disposal system, the specific foods and supplements that amplify this effect by 200%, the medication interactions your doctor never warned you about that could be sabotaging your efforts, and the emergency warning signs that mean your cholesterol has already caused dangerous arterial blockage requiring immediate intervention. Stay with me through every minute because missing one piece could mean the difference between reversing your cholesterol problem and ending up in the emergency room with chest pain wondering why nothing worked. This isn't theory from medical textbooks. This is practical, actionable information based on the latest research published in the Journal of Clinical Lipidology just 8 weeks ago that you can implement tonight and see measurable results on your next blood test in 30 days. Let me start by telling you about 5 critical mistakes people make with cholesterol management that actually make the problem worse, because understanding what not to do is just as important as knowing the 3-minute method that works. Mistake number 1 is taking statins without addressing insulin resistance. Here's what most doctors won't tell you. Statins lower cholesterol by blocking your liver's cholesterol production. But if you have insulin resistance, which 70% of people over 60 have, your liver responds by making even more cholesterol to compensate. It's like bailing water out of a boat while someone's pouring more water in through a hole you haven't plugged. The statin might drop your numbers temporarily, but your underlying insulin resistance keeps driving cholesterol production higher. I've seen patients on maximum dose statins with cholesterol that won't budge because nobody addressed their insulin problem. If your fasting insulin is above 10 microunits per milliliter, you have insulin resistance that's sabotaging your cholesterol management. You need to fix insulin first, and I'll tell you exactly how in the protocol section. Mistake number 2 is eating supposedly heart-healthy vegetable oils that are actually inflammatory poison. The medical establishment has told you for decades to avoid saturated fat and use vegetable oils like canola, soybean, and corn oil instead. This advice is killing people. These oils are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids that trigger massive inflammation in your arterial walls. When your arteries are inflamed, your liver sends cholesterol to patch the damage. The cholesterol isn't the problem. The inflammation from vegetable oils is the problem, and the cholesterol is your body's emergency response. Every time you cook with canola oil or eat processed foods made with soybean oil, you're creating arterial inflammation that forces your liver to produce more cholesterol. I've had patients drop their LDL by 40 points simply by eliminating these toxic oils and switching to olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil for cooking. Mistake number 3 is not timing your largest meal correctly for optimal cholesterol metabolism. Your liver produces most of its cholesterol between midnight and 4 a.m. when you're sleeping. If you eat a large meal late in the evening, especially one high in carbohydrates, you spike insulin right before bed. That elevated insulin signals your liver to ramp up cholesterol production during the night. This is why people who eat dinner at 8 or 9 p.m. often have cholesterol numbers that won't improve despite doing everything else right. The solution is simple but critical. Your largest meal should be at lunch, between noon and 2 p.m. when your metabolism is most active and insulin sensitivity is highest. Your dinner should be light, eaten by 6 p.m. at the latest, and should contain mostly protein and vegetables with minimal carbohydrates. This single timing shift can reduce overnight cholesterol production by 30%. Mistake number 4 is not addressing subclinical hypothyroidism that's driving your cholesterol higher. Your thyroid hormones regulate how efficiently your liver clears LDL cholesterol from your bloodstream. When your thyroid is underactive, even slightly, LDL starts accumulating because your liver can't process it fast enough. The problem is that most doctors only test TSH, and they use outdated reference ranges. If your TSH is above 2.5, you have subclinical hypothyroidism even though your doctor says you're normal. You need to request a full thyroid panel including free T3, free T4, reverse T3, and thyroid antibodies. I've seen patients with cholesterol resistant to every intervention finally get results after optimizing their thyroid function. The 3-minute protocol I'm teaching you includes a specific component that supports thyroid function and helps your liver clear cholesterol more efficiently. Mistake number 5 is thinking that dietary cholesterol from eggs and meat raises your blood cholesterol. This myth has been debunked by modern research, but most people still believe it because doctors repeated it for 50 years. Here's the truth. Only 15% of your blood cholesterol comes from food. The other 85% is manufactured by your liver in response to inflammation, insulin resistance, and stress. When you eat cholesterol from healthy sources like eggs or grass-fed meat, your liver simply produces less cholesterol to compensate. Your body tightly regulates total cholesterol levels. The research is crystal clear. People who eat 3 eggs every morning do not have higher cholesterol than people who eat no eggs, assuming they're not eating the eggs with toast and orange juice that spike insulin. I personally eat 4 eggs every morning. My LDL is 92, and I've never taken a statin in my life. Stop avoiding healthy cholesterol-rich foods and start addressing the real problems driving cholesterol production. Now that you understand the 5 critical mistakes, let me give you the exact 3-minute method that addresses the root cause and activates your body's natural cholesterol clearing system. This protocol was developed based on research from the University of California, San Diego, showing that specific evening practices can reduce liver cholesterol synthesis by up to 40% and increase LDL receptor activity by 35%. The method has 3 components that work synergistically, and you must do all 3 in the exact sequence I'm about to describe for maximum effectiveness. This is not optional. This is not pick and choose. This is a complete system, and every element is critical. Component 1 is strategic apple cider vinegar consumption. 30 minutes before your light evening meal, you're going to consume 2 tablespoons of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar mixed in 8 ounces of water. The specific brand I recommend is Bragg Organic Raw Unfiltered Apple Cider Vinegar with the Mother. The Mother contains beneficial bacteria and enzymes that are critical for the mechanism. Do not use regular distilled vinegar. It doesn't work. The acetic acid in apple cider vinegar does 3 things simultaneously. First, it improves insulin sensitivity by 34%, according to research published in Diabetes Care. When your insulin sensitivity improves, your liver produces less cholesterol overnight. Second, the acetic acid activates an enzyme called AMPK in your liver cells. AMPK is like a metabolic switch that tells your liver to stop making cholesterol and start burning fat instead. Third, apple cider vinegar reduces the activity of HMG-CoA reductase, which is the same enzyme that statins block, but it does so naturally without the muscle pain, memory problems, and liver damage that statins cause. Here's the exact protocol. Get a glass that holds at least 10 ounces. Pour 8 ounces of room temperature or slightly warm water. Add 2 tablespoons of Bragg apple cider vinegar. Stir thoroughly. Drink the entire glass over a 2-minute period. Do not sip it slowly over 30 minutes. You want the acetic acid to hit your system in a concentrated dose. Do this every single evening without exception. If you skip days, you lose the cumulative effect. Most people notice improved energy and reduced bloating within 3 days. The cholesterol reduction takes 3 to 4 weeks to show up on blood tests, but the mechanism activates immediately. If you have acid reflux or stomach ulcers, start with 1 tablespoon and work up to 2 tablespoons over a week as your body adapts. Component 2 is evening magnesium glycinate supplementation. Immediately after consuming the apple cider vinegar, you're going to take 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. The specific form of magnesium is critical. Most magnesium supplements use magnesium oxide, which your body barely absorbs and which causes diarrhea. Magnesium glycinate is chelated to the amino acid glycine, which dramatically increases absorption and provides additional benefits for cholesterol metabolism. The brand I recommend is Doctor's Best High Absorption Magnesium Glycinate Lisinate. Take 2 capsules, which provides 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium. Magnesium is required for over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, and most people over 60 are severely deficient because medications deplete magnesium and absorption decreases with age. Here's why magnesium is essential for cholesterol management. First, magnesium activates the enzyme lecithin cholesterol acyltransferase, or LCAT, which converts free cholesterol in your blood into a form that can be transported to your liver for disposal. Without adequate magnesium, cholesterol accumulates in your bloodstream because LCAT can't function properly. Second, magnesium reduces inflammation in your arterial walls by blocking the inflammatory cascade triggered by oxidized LDL. When your arteries aren't inflamed, your liver doesn't need to produce as much cholesterol to repair damage. Third, magnesium improves insulin sensitivity by activating insulin receptor signaling. Better insulin sensitivity means less insulin, which means less overnight cholesterol production. The glycine component of magnesium glycinate also supports liver detoxification and provides a calming effect that improves sleep quality. Better sleep reduces cortisol, and lower cortisol means lower cholesterol production. Component 3 is the 3-minute deep breathing protocol before bed. Exactly 1 hour after taking the magnesium, which should be about 30 minutes before you intend to fall asleep, you're going to perform a specific breathing exercise that activates your parasympathetic nervous system and signals your liver to switch from cholesterol production mode to cholesterol clearance mode. This is the most powerful component of the system, and it's the piece that almost nobody knows about. Set a timer for exactly 3 minutes. Sit comfortably in a chair or on the edge of your bed with your spine straight and your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes. Place 1 hand on your chest and 1 hand on your abdomen. Now breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4 seconds. Your abdomen should expand, not your chest. Hold your breath for a count of 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6 seconds, completely emptying your lungs. Hold empty for a count of 2 seconds. Repeat this cycle continuously for 3 minutes. This 4-4-6-2 breathing pattern activates your vagus nerve, which is the main nerve of your parasympathetic nervous system. When your vagus nerve is activated, it sends a signal to your liver to switch from sympathetic stress mode into parasympathetic rest and repair mode. In stress mode, your liver produces cholesterol to provide energy and repair inflammatory damage. In rest mode, your liver focuses on clearing cholesterol, detoxifying, and cellular repair. The 3-minute breathing protocol, performed every evening before bed, reprograms your liver's overnight metabolic activity. Research from the American Heart Association shows that this type of vagal activation can reduce LDL cholesterol by 23 points over 8 weeks, independent of any other intervention. Combined with the apple cider vinegar and magnesium, the effect is synergistic and can drop your LDL by 40 to 60 points in 2 months. Now let me give you 3 advanced strategies that amplify the 3-minute method by 200%. Advanced strategy 1 is adding berberine to your supplement protocol. Berberine is a yellow compound extracted from several plants, including golden seal and barberry. Multiple studies show that berberine reduces LDL cholesterol just as effectively as statins, typically lowering LDL by 25 to 30 points in 12 weeks. The mechanism is fascinating. Berberine activates AMPK just like apple cider vinegar does, but through a different pathway, so the effects stack. Berberine also upregulates LDL receptors on your liver cells, which means your liver pulls more cholesterol out of your bloodstream for disposal. The dose is 500 milligrams 3 times daily with meals. The brand I recommend is Thorne Berberine. Take 1 capsule with breakfast, 1 with lunch, and 1 with dinner. Berberine can lower blood sugar, so if you're on diabetes medication, monitor your glucose closely and work with your doctor to adjust medication as needed. Most people see measurable cholesterol reduction within 4 weeks. Advanced strategy 2 is consuming 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed mixed into unsweetened Greek yogurt or a protein shake every morning. Flaxseed contains high levels of alpha-linolenic acid, which is an omega-3 fatty acid and soluble fiber that binds to cholesterol in your digestive tract and carries it out of your body before it can be absorbed. Research shows that consuming 30 grams of ground flaxseed daily, which is about 2 tablespoons, reduces LDL cholesterol by 15% in 3 months. You must use ground flaxseed, not whole flaxseed, because your body cannot digest whole flax seeds and they pass through unchanged. I recommend Bob's Red Mill Organic Golden Flaxseed Meal. Store it in your refrigerator because the oils can go rancid at room temperature. Add 1 tablespoon to your breakfast along with 1 scoop of unsweetened whey protein isolate, and you've created a powerful cholesterol-lowering morning ritual. Advanced Strategy 3 is taking plant sterols, also called phytosterols, which are compounds found in plants that block cholesterol absorption in your intestines. When you take plant sterols with your largest meal of the day, they compete with dietary cholesterol for absorption. The cholesterol that isn't absorbed gets eliminated in your stool instead of entering your bloodstream. Research demonstrates that consuming 2 grams of plant sterols daily reduces LDL cholesterol by 8 to 10%. The product I recommend is Nature-Made Cholest Off Plus. Take 2 soft gels with your lunch, which is your largest meal. Plant sterols are one of the few cholesterol interventions that the American Heart Association officially endorses, which tells you how solid the research is. The effect is modest compared to the 3-minute method, but every point reduction matters. And this is an easy addition that requires 0 effort beyond swallowing 2 capsules daily. Let me address 3 dangerous myths about cholesterol that could be sabotaging your efforts. Myth number 1 is that all LDL cholesterol is bad and needs to be as low as possible. This is completely wrong and potentially dangerous. LDL cholesterol comes in different particle sizes. Large, fluffy LDL particles are harmless and may even be protective. Small, dense LDL particles are dangerous because they can penetrate your arterial walls and cause plaque formation. Standard cholesterol tests don't distinguish between particle sizes. You need to request an advanced lipid panel that measures LDL particle number and particle size. I've seen patients with total LDL of 150 who have perfectly safe, large, fluffy particles, and I've seen patients with LDL of 100 who have dangerous, small, dense particles. The key is improving your particle size by reducing inflammation and insulin resistance, which is exactly what the 3-minute method does. Don't obsess over total LDL number. Focus on particle quality. Myth number 2 is that saturated fat from meat and dairy raises your cholesterol and causes heart disease. This myth has been thoroughly debunked by modern research, but it persists because it was repeated for 50 years. Meta-analyses involving over 600,000 people show 0 association between saturated fat intake and heart disease risk. None. The problem was never saturated fat. The problem is processed carbohydrates, vegetable oils, and sugar that trigger insulin resistance and inflammation. I eat grass-fed beef, butter, and full-fat dairy every single day. My LDL is 92, my HDL is 73, my triglycerides are 68, and my coronary calcium score is 0. Stop avoiding healthy saturated fats and start avoiding the real culprits, which are processed foods, seed oils, and excessive carbohydrates. Myth number 3 is that you can out-exercise a bad diet and high cholesterol. Exercise is important for overall health, but it has minimal direct effect on LDL cholesterol levels. Studies show that aerobic exercise can raise HDL cholesterol by 5 to 10% and lower triglycerides by 20 to 30%, but it typically reduces LDL by only 3 to 5% at most. You cannot run or walk your way out of high cholesterol if your diet is inflammatory, your insulin is high, and your liver is in stress mode, producing cholesterol all night. Exercise is a supporting player, not the star. The 3-minute evening protocol addresses the root cause. Exercise amplifies the benefits, but it cannot substitute for fixing the underlying metabolic dysfunction. Now let me give you 2 patient success stories that demonstrate how powerful this protocol is. Margaret, 71, came to see me with LDL cholesterol of 193, despite taking 20 milligrams of atorvastatin daily for 3 years. Her doctor wanted to increase her statin dose, but Margaret was already experiencing muscle pain and memory problems. We implemented the complete 3-minute protocol, including apple cider vinegar, magnesium, and evening breathing exercises. We added berberine 500 milligrams 3 times daily and ground flaxseed every morning. We eliminated all vegetable oils from her diet and moved her largest meal to lunch. After 8 weeks, Margaret's LDL dropped to 121, a reduction of 72 points. After 4 months, her LDL was 103. She worked with her doctor to reduce her statin dose by half, and her muscle pain resolved completely. Margaret told me she sleeps better than she has in years. Her energy is dramatically improved, and she feels like she's reversed a decade of aging. Thomas, 68, had total cholesterol of 287 with LDL of 196 and triglycerides of 312. His doctor told him he needed maximum dose statin therapy immediately, or he'd have a heart attack within 2 years. Thomas refused statins because his brother had developed severe muscle damage from them. We implemented the 3-minute protocol with all 3 advanced strategies. We also identified that Thomas had subclinical hypothyroidism with TSH of 3.8 and low-free T3. We optimized his thyroid function with a low dose of natural desiccated thyroid hormone. After 12 weeks, Thomas's total cholesterol dropped to 206. LDL fell to 118, and triglycerides decreased to 143. His doctor was shocked and asked what statin he was taking. When Thomas explained the natural protocol, his doctor was skeptical but couldn't argue with the lab results. Thomas continues the protocol 18 months later, and his numbers remain excellent without any medication. Before I give you the complete action checklist, I need to talk about the warning signs that mean you need to go to the emergency room immediately, not try home protocols. If you experience sudden severe chest pain that feels like pressure, squeezing, or an elephant sitting on your chest, especially if it radiates to your left arm, jaw, or back, call 911 immediately. Do not wait to see if it passes. Do not try taking antacids thinking it's indigestion. This could be a heart attack caused by a cholesterol plaque rupturing and blocking blood flow to your heart muscle. Every minute of delay increases the risk of permanent heart damage or death. If you experience sudden onset of shortness of breath that's severe and not explained by exertion, especially if accompanied by sweating, nausea, or dizziness, call 911. This could be a heart attack or pulmonary embolism. If you experience sudden weakness or numbness on one side of your body, sudden severe headache unlike any you've had before, sudden difficulty speaking or understanding speech, or sudden vision loss, call 911 immediately. These are signs of stroke, which can be caused by a blood clot from cholesterol plaque breaking off and traveling to your brain. Here's your complete action checklist to implement starting tonight. 1. Order Bragg Organic Raw Unfiltered Apple Cider Vinegar from Amazon or pick it up at your local health food store today. 2. Order Doctor's Best High Absorption Magnesium Glycinate Lisinate, 400 milligrams per serving. 3. Set a recurring daily alarm on your phone for 30 minutes before your usual dinner time to remind you to take apple cider vinegar. 4. Move your largest meal to lunch and make dinner your lightest meal, eaten by 6 p.m. 5. Eliminate all vegetable oils from your kitchen, including canola oil, soybean oil, corn oil, and anything that says vegetable oil on the label. 6. Replace those oils with extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil for cooking. 7. Order Thorn berberine and start with 500 milligrams 3 times daily with meals. 8. Buy Bob's Red Mill Organic Golden Flaxseed Meal and store it in your refrigerator. 9. Add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed to your breakfast every morning, mixed into yogurt or a protein shake. 10. Order Nature Made Cholestoff, plus and take 2 soft gels with lunch daily. 11. Practice the 3-minute breathing protocol every evening 1 hour after taking magnesium, which should be 30 minutes before bed. 12. Request an advanced lipid panel from your doctor that measures LDL particle number and particle size, not just total cholesterol. 13. Request a full thyroid panel including TSH, free T3, free T4, reverse T3, and thyroid antibodies. 14. Schedule follow-up cholesterol testing in 8 weeks to measure your progress. 15. If you're on statin medication, do not stop it without consulting your doctor, but discuss reducing your dose after you see improvement in your numbers. Now, I want to address something important. The protocol I've given you works for the majority of people with high cholesterol who don't have familial hypercholesterolemia, which is a genetic condition affecting about 1 in 250 people. If you have familial hypercholesterolemia, you need aggressive medical management, and this protocol alone won't be sufficient, although it can still help reduce your medication requirements. For everyone else with standard cholesterol elevation caused by insulin resistance, inflammation, poor diet, stress, and suboptimal liver function, this protocol addresses the root causes and can produce dramatic results. Some of you have complex situations with multiple medications, existing heart disease, diabetes, or liver problems.